Hello, South End 6th graders. We are revisiting the lessons that were conducted on 9/21/2020 and 9/22/2020. We are going to be going over some vocabulary words that we need to be successful student scientists as we study the scientific method and go forward throughout the year. By the end of this class, we will have been introduced to the idea of the scientific method and be able to define some key vocabulary terms. As a part of this lesson, we also watched the dancing raisins experiment. So we are going to be talking about that experiment to explain some of the vocabulary words that we have and to help explain some of the scientific method steps. So the first step of the scientific method here is to ask a question. The question for the raisins experiment is, what will the raisin do when we put it into soda? The video that we watched, the boys had a book, and that book would have had some of their background research. It would have given them some information about soda and raisins and why this works. The next step we did was construct a hypothesis, and we did that when we answered that Microsoft form. So some of us said that the raisin would sink. Some of us said that the raisin would float to the top. Some of us said the raisin would float to the middle. Some of us thought something else would happen. So now that we have a question and we made an educated guess, we created a hypothesis based on some background research, it's time to test with an experiment. So the experiment in this example is fairly simple. It's only about 5 steps. You open up some soda, you get a clear cup. You pour the soda into the cup, you drop some raisins in, and you observe. Sometimes our experiments are not going to be this simple and have many more steps. So the next step of the scientific method is to double check our procedure, our steps, our method. Is it working? If it's not working, we go back and we try and figure out what we need to fix. What steps do we need to check? What do we need to clarify? Once our procedure is working, we move on. We analyze data and we draw conclusions. So data are the outcomes. What happened? Did the raisins sink or did they float? Did they do a little of both? So analyzing the data might be counting how many raisins floated and then sank again. Drawing conclusions is trying to make sense of the data and the observations that we made. After we draw conclusions, our results are either going to support our hypothesis, agree with what we had said, or our results will not agree with our hypothesis. Either way, we take our results, our data, our conclusions, and we communicate our results. Now, there's several different ways that we can communicate results. Sometimes scientists write. They write papers. They could write books. They could write journal articles. Most often, they will write a paper or write an article or write a book. Sometimes they might make a video or a documentary or a movie. So most of us have seen at least one clip or video or program on Discovery Channel or National Geographic's. Scientists work for those channels, and scientists help us to see and explore the world around us by watching videos or movies or films. One of the next ways, and one of the last ways that scientists can communicate results, would be to draw pictures. So think about what scientists might have done 100 years ago, before we had computers, before we had phones, before we had good cameras. What would they do? Well, they had a pen and pencil and paper, so they would draw what they saw. They would create a blueprint or a map to explain what they saw. So this is just a brief introduction to the scientific method, which we will be going deeper into this week and next week. So now we're going to switch gears and we are going to talk about some vocabulary. So if you are viewing this presentation because you got a little bit behind in class, that is okay. In class, I mentioned that this presentation will be posted on Unified Classroom for you to view. I also instructed you to take out your notebooks and write down scientific method vocab. Underneath this heading, we will be writing the vocabulary words and some definitions and examples to help us remember key words and terms for the scientific method. If you need to pause at any time, please pause, take in the information that you need, write it down, and then continue playing the video. Our first vocabulary word here is observation. Observations use your 5 senses: what you see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. So an observation is something we do every day. We see, we hear, we taste, we smell, and we touch. In a lab setting, you usually don't taste and you usually don't smell. Those could be very bad. When we have labs, you will be instructed what senses you will be using to observe. Our next vocabulary word is inference. These are attempts and ways we try to explain or make sense of our observations. So an inference is how we try to explain or make sense of our observations. An inference has a cause and effect. So if we think about the dancing raisins, we observed the raisins kind of floating or dancing. Our inference could be that the bubbles in the soda have something to do with why the raisins floated. So our observation would be that the raisins float and dance, and our inference is that maybe the bubbles have something to do with it. Our next vocabulary words here have to do with observations. Qualitative observations. So qualitative observations are observations that do not involve numbers or measurements. What they do involve are comparisons and what we see, and sometimes a yes or no question. An example of a qualitative observation would be if we were outside looking at a garden. A qualitative observation of a garden could be that one flower is bigger or smaller than the other. It might be green or purple or red or pink. Another example of a qualitative observation in a garden could be the plant grew, which would answer the question, did it grow? Our next observation is a quantitative observation. A quantitative observation does involve numbers or measurements. A quantitative observation observes a quantity of something. So if we are thinking about our garden again, a quantitative observation could be to go and measure how tall the plant is, or to count how many plants there are. Or to count how many leaves there are on the plant. So a quantitative observation has to do with a number or measurement. Our next word is a prediction. A prediction is when you tell about something in advance, before you have knowledge of it. So a prediction tells about something in advance. A hypothesis is a little different. A hypothesis is an assumption to be tested, and we get that assumption, an idea, from doing some background research. A hypothesis is a statement that needs to be proven. We write it as an if-then statement. So going back to our dancing raisins, if we put a raisin in a glass of soda, then they will dance. Controlled experiment is our next word. A controlled experiment describes an experiment in which variables, things we can change, are controlled. A controlled experiment is an experiment in which variables are controlled. And in this type of experiment, you attempt to control every variable except for one. And our next slide talks about what variables are. A variable is a thing that affects the experiment. It is something we can change and that we can manipulate. So a variable is something that affects the experiment. There's two types of variables we're going to talk about. An independent variable. An independent variable is what is purposefully changed to affect the outcome of the experiment. So that is what we manipulate. That is what we are trying to change. The dependent variable is a factor that is seen as the outcome. A dependent variable is affected by the independent variable. This is the response to the manipulation, the response to the change.